Hey guys, welcome back to Drag the Waters podcast. I believe it is episode 15.
It's our 15.
Two Texas bros dragging the waters for all the cool shit and all the bullshit. Basically, we just have a good time talking about and intellectualizing life, politics, economics, and how to live a good life despite all of the perceived handicaps and oppression. Because we understand the law of Saturn and are going to make do and play our hand of cards the best possible instead of bitching about our hand of cards and expecting other people to start handing us cards. You know, that's not how we play. I mean, if you want to hand us cards, go ahead. We're not going to say no. Well, maybe, because, you know, there ain't no free lunch. Despise the free lunch. One of the laws of power. So what you got, man?
Attractive defendants were twice as likely to avoid jail as unattractive ones. A defendant who was better looking than his victim had to pay an average of $5,000, but when the victim was more attractive, the average compensation was $10,000.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Halo effect.
Yeah, I mean...
Life ain't fair.
We often talk about this, you know, we talk about equity and inclusion or whatever, and the
everyone
the
will have
pitfalls.
acid thrown in their face.
Yeah, the tall people will get crippled legs. But yeah, I mean, beauty is definitely one of the things.
I think that's Harrison Bergeron,
It's just
too.
like luck. What's that?
There's a short story, a dystopian short story, where the beautiful people had to wear masks that were ugly so everyone could be equal. I forgot about that. And, like, the ballet dancers had weights on their legs.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was I think we were in, like, 7th grade or something. I can't remember. But it was brought up on Bridget Fetisi the other day. So that's why it's fresh in the mind.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some stuff. My boy Rob Henderson, you know, I'd like to meet you one day. Here's another quote. Wearing a high-end watch may suggest someone is wealthy, but if many non-wealthy people also wear it, the watch ceases to function as a signal of wealth. As a result, wealthy individuals may diverge, adopting a new product to distinguish themselves. I think like I've seen this already with Apple Watches. Yeah. You know, when they first came out, or like the same thing with the iPhone. I think that's a reason why people always have to have the newest version.
Status seeking.
Yeah. Because, like, at first, you know, people have the Apple Watch, and it's like, oh, man, that guy's got an Apple Watch. But now that everyone's got an Apple Watch, like, people are starting to move towards traditional watches again for, like, the difference in the way they look and all the different variants and shit. Mm-hmm. Versus like just having the same fucking rectangle on your wrist.
I don't even like Apple
the rest
Watches.
Of the plebs.
I don't like the way they look. I don't want people to be able to like know. I mean, everyone should already know they can contact me. Mm-hmm. I am too available. Yeah, it's not good on my power ranking.
Yeah.
Well, of course I don't answer my phone, which is how I do it.
Well, there you go.
It's just like that's why I don't want on my phone. People are like, I know you had the thing on your wrist. Why didn't you answer? It's like, I was fucking busy.
Yeah.
I was driving. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't fucking care. I wish I could be straight up with my family sometimes, but no, I'm not trying to, like, destroy people's hearts.
Yeah, man, you love them.
Yeah.
It's good. Love hurts, dude.
So, fucking pain in the fucking ass. It's like we might be aiming for Machiavelli, but it hurts. It hurts me more than it hurts you.
All right.
Oh, shit.
I think another thing, if we talk about, like self-growth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get too comfy. And this is 33 Strategies of War.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Robert Greene. I love this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's create a sense of urgency and desperation. You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Cut your ties to the past. Enter unknown territory. Place yourself on death ground where your back is against the wall and you have to fight like hell to get out of there.
I mean, maybe in a war that would work, but that just sounds exhausting. And I mean, there's something to be said about limiting options for creativity, but too much stress shuts down creativity.
I've come to understand that deadlines make deals.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it forces option.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having something go on indefinitely,
right.
like, I mean, there's something that decision from Latin decide means to cut off. So
I'm thinking of was it Dan Pena?
yeah.
He's got a quote: "If you left it up to the engineers, the car would never go out the factory."
Oh, for sure. And then perfect is the enemy of the good.
Mm-hmm.
It's another good one. So, like, because I know this because I've always struggled with perfectionism, which is a symptom of pride and low self-esteem, which are very related. It's because you want to be perfect to compensate for the fact that you don't feel like you're enough already.
Mm-hmm.
When really, if you're good, like, you're gonna produce something good. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Right.
And even your most perfect of what you can accomplish today is probably not going to be your perfect that you're going to be able to accomplish tomorrow due to just the nature of like growth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's better to be like finishing projects, moving on to the next thing instead of obsessing over creating something perfect.
Yeah. And I've noticed this in like flow state versus like try hard.
Yeah.
I remember the last project I was in, like song five took months. We were like at the drawing boards. We were like riffing and like, Ryan's like, what if we put this before this and all this shit, dude? And then like when we finished it, we didn't even want to play the fucking song. We didn't even want to play it, right? And then we jammed out together, and then we wrote a song in like 30 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like way more fun. And then every time we played song 5, we fucking hated it. We were just like, oh man, what if we changed? We just had to rewrite it, like take it apart.
Yeah.
Take what we liked about it, which was not a lot, you know, like. Or the same thing. I was playing Apex Legends the other day. I hadn't played in weeks, and I came out. We won 2 games in a row. I was getting like 9 kills, just fucking thirsting people. And then like a couple days later, we were on ranked, and I was all trying all hard, and just dying, getting murdered because it was like too much, I don't know how to describe it. I wish y'all could see me, just tense.
Yeah, you're shut off, bro. You tunnel vision, man. You don't have the flexibility, creativity. There's actually a principle for this in transurfing, from reality transurfing by Vadim Seelan, which is like law of attraction as explained by Russian quantum physicists. So let that say what it must.
Right.
But he says that he talks about it with importance and this force. It's something called like balancing force or something like that, where if you put too much importance on something, basically you put it on a pedestal, so effectively you're pushing it away, as opposed to if it was like just a natural action or desire that was normal, you wouldn't think twice about it and just be easy to get it. You don't think, if you have coffee, like if you want a cup of coffee, you go make the cup of coffee, you pour the cup in your case, because I know you do the cold coffee. So you go, if you want it, you don't have to like make it important, like, oh, I need my coffee, or freak out. It's just, it's there.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's not there, you know, I can go to Starbucks or whatever, get my coffee. But it's
done.
like, oh my God, I need to make $1 million. I need to make $1 million. I gotta talk to this woman. This woman is so cool. She's so good. Like, or whatever the project is. If you're trying to like manifest it using the mentalist techniques, law of attraction techniques, if you make it too important, you're telling the universe it's out of your reach, so you're not gonna get it. And so the whole point of the technique is to like visualize what you want till the emotional reaction is it's normalized. And then it's as simple to achieve it as what he says, going to pick up a paper from a newsstand, but we don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So it would be as simple as, you know, just opening up your phone.
Yeah.
But probably a little more than that. Probably going to like
Checking your Gmail.
go and make a sandwich.
Right.
You don't have to stress about it. It's not important. You like the sandwich. You want the sandwich. You know you're gonna have the sandwich, so it's not even there's no struggle or stress. You can manifest the sandwich just by going to make it.
Right.
So stuff gets too important in your game or in life, you start stressing yourself out, pumping out cortisol, stress hormone, your creative ability shuts down. You don't see as much, your awareness shuts down, and you know, you can't get what you want.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And then you're like, right.
Another example he says is like, a fly trying to get out a window, but it's closed, so he's hitting himself against the window. But if he were to like stop flying into the window and like fly out, there's an open window next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to step back, get the big picture, and then you get what you want without hitting your face in glass.
That, man.
So.
Yeah, dude. Check it out.
But yeah, there's something I said about like lighting a fire and getting stuff done. And like I said, I don't know about war because I'm not trying to create war.
Oh, it's not just war. I mean, this book, I guess, is called the 33 Strategies of War. But
That's what I'm saying.
It's really just about like making movements, right? Like controlling the dynamic, knowing how to end things, knowing when to end. That's a good one, right? Because people, I mean, I guess especially in like the stock market's a good example, right? Or gambling. Gambling's another really good one.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, kind of, I guess. But yeah, you know, you're fucking winning. You're rolling them dice or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're like 2 times ahead, 3 times ahead, 4 times ahead. And you could leave like right now, or you could just put it all on the line, right? Like just like knowing when to stop.
Yeah.
And those are all like things that you want to know, or at least like gain the experience. I mean, books are cool in the way that it's other experience, and then it's simulations. That's the thing about fictional stories, right? It's like you get the simulations.
Yeah.
Like I always thought The Godfather was cool. One of my favorite stories in there is what is it called? It's the singer and his best friend who's an alcoholic. I'm talking, did you ever read the book?
Yeah, I read it a long time ago when you lent it to me, but it's been so long.
Heard that. I'm trying to remember the singer's name. Whatever. Anyway, his friend's an alcoholic, right? But they're like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't care because he's like, oh, he's just having a good time or whatever. And like he's just like slowly dying and dying. So it's like even the people that you care about, like sometimes it's hard. Or like people, like let's say you're the victim, you're the alcoholic in that story, and like your people are just around watching you suffer, and they're not going to say anything, and like the lessons learned through that scenario, you know, and then it takes someone from outside to be like, hey, you're letting your friend die, you know.
Sometimes, yeah, but even still in those situations, like of course that's like how to end things. You got to be willing to walk away or take the L, because like you can try to intervene for the good of your friend in that situation, and it could do nothing,
right?
And it might just damage your friendship, or it'd be like, because you're like, oh, you don't accept me as I am, whatever, and it's like, then you got to choose, like, do you still remain like hanging out with your friend, like watching them die, or like I can't watch you die or kill yourself, and then you're out,
right?
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's the hard thing.
I was just looking at another one by Rob Henderson. He was citing a study where people that had more satisfaction in their life, in their late life, had better interpersonal relationships in their like younger and midlife, like, and focusing on that rather than just like focusing on, I guess, selfishness. But selfishness in itself can be a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the connotation of selfishness. It's probably a very like Christian view. This is very much a topic of the Lex Friedman interview with Michael Malice and Yaron Brook with the Ayn Rand and objectivism about the virtue of selfishness. But a lot of it is like they take it to this level of like nothing, like to narcissism, and that's not selfishness. Is not narcissism. Because I can value other people while I'm being selfish. Like I value you. I value what you bring to my life. I value you as a person, as an intellectual, as many things. I value Sarah as someone who brings value to you and your son, and all these other things, and my family. Like I'm first because this is ultimately my life, you know. And what I'm not going to martyr myself to make everyone else happy while I'm miserable. And if I tried to do life that way, I'd probably bring everyone else down because the misery would probably be contagious.
Right.
Which I would say is the ultimate downfall of communism.
Or collectivism.
Collectivism. That's the dark side of collectivism. But when you're selfish, you can still be collective. You're just going to be intentional about it and voluntary.
Yeah.
So I'm very much, I'd say the solution to a lot of problems people think is not through the government or anything, but it's going to be what some people might call intentional community building. But more than that, it's building localized networks of value.
Right. And it's like the better I'm doing, and this goes down back to, I guess, our libertarian podcast, and our like rugged individualism. It's like the better I'm doing, the better the world is around me. As long as I'm not like doing it off the backs of somebody else, like taking advantage of other people to like climb to the top, clawing my way to the top of the corporate ladder or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, because if I'm doing better, then I'll be in a better mental space. I'll be more physically able and emotionally and spiritually open to
you have more energy to be generous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so if you're stressed out and strung out because you're running around for everyone else, you're going to burn out because you're going to give up everything.
And then if you have children, you're going to be more of a positive role model, or at least someone who's succeeding in life versus someone who's down in the gutter, like getting your soul crushed.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine who's a father, and he's not doing really well, and it's sad to see his relationship with his son, 8 years down the line. And, I hope things turn out well for him. I hope he can turn it around, but I mean, that's another person,
Yeah.
And it's like the world keeps spinning. I remember having family that like went to prison and stuff. I remember like my grandma being like, why are you in there for these other people who don't care, don't give a shit about you? Like, you're in there rotting away and they're out here like growing and doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing stuff, and they might even say that, oh man, you took one for the team, blah, blah, blah. But like, they're not there for you.
Yeah.
They don't fucking care. They're not doing the time, Shit's crazy, man. Life's crazy.
It's just how it is, man.
Yeah. Shit.
What?
Napoleon, Sun Tzu, Athena, Brutus. Yeah.
I mean, you should bust out the manual, bro.
What?
Bust out the manual.
The manual? Oh,
That'd be much simpler.
That's like downstairs. Wait.
Don't worry about it, bro. It's fine, man.
All right.
My favorite, I don't know if it's the manual. It's Epictetus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite, well, the one that I don't know if it's my favorite. The one I remember the most is that it's like, basically, it's like the Shakespeare quote, like, life is a stage and everyone's an actor and has their part to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, basically, it's like, don't try to be someone you're not and play your part the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we'll probably say on here is, you're dealt a certain hand of cards. It's up to you to play them the best you can.
Yeah. And Marcus Aurelius would say, live life according to nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And however that resonates with you, like just being an entity,
mm-hmm.
and what you can control and what you can't control. I think my favorite quote from Epictetus, it really helped me as far as like in work and like achieving long-term goals. It was a metaphor about a voyage. So you're a sailor on a ship,
mm-hmm.
and you're on a voyage, and when you stop at harbor, you may do stuff there. You may wander around, meet people, gather things, collect things. But when the bell tolls to get back on the ship, like, be able to shed everything and get back to business,
Yeah.
And I've really used that as a metaphor for like stepping stones in my career, and moving about,
Mm-hmm.
like trying to move forward to get to where I am now and where I want to be, owning a bunch of stuff, managing some stuff. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I still want to have a rock climbing gym, dispensary, brewery,
Mm-hmm.
gaming lounge.
Yeah, when I was going through,
restaurant.
my mom's been going through some paperwork, and she found a whole collection of like my grade school work, like my creative writing and stuff, like old journals, like from when I was like couldn't spell words right and shit.
Right.
And one of the things I said, my dream was to own a game shop.
Heck yeah.
When I was like in, I don't know, third grade or something. I was like, that's about right. A gaming lounge for sure. My sister said, actually, she knows the guys, I think, from one of the game shops, Alpha Strike, or the board game shop downtown. And she said, you should talk to them. And I don't know if I should. I mean, I probably should, just to network, be like, whatever. You know, maybe they could be a potential business partner in the future. I mean, I don't really care at this point. Some income is better than no income.
Yeah.
So just keep making income streams with everybody, and then everyone can get rich. Have your communist dream, except you have to work.
Right.
But so yeah, maybe hit them up and say, you know, it's like, of course, if I would say here, it's like, yeah, 420 Gaming Lounge.
Boom.
Whatever. I mean, if I can't make it, I want you to make it because I want to go there.
Yeah.
Of course, your place is probably gonna suck because it's not mine.
Yeah. Oh man, we definitely have to look at the laws whenever it comes up. I mean, we're just waiting. Legalize.
So yeah, we should probably. I mean, if I was smart, I want to start building this because if we say legalization is inevitable, the smart thing to do is to become friends with probably local politicians, lawyers, specialty lawyers. Probably go join Normal, and start, you know, probably make some connections online to.
There's a seminar this month.
To growers in Colorado. Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Austin. It's I think on the 6th and the 7th, or 6th through 9th, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 3 days, and it's at the Civic Center.
Where?
In Austin.
In Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be. I mean, the billboard has a big ass pot leaf on it.
Bro, we could go to Joe. We can go to Joe Rogan.
Oh man.
Be like, bro, we got this idea. We just want to know if you wanted to invest in it.
No, that's a bad move.
Why is it a bad move?
He said that on JRE podcast. He's like, man, people are always trying to sell me shit. Like, I don't fucking know you. Blah blah blah. Like, so why would I want to do that and like ruin relationships before they've even started?
Well, obviously we're not gonna be able to go to Joe Rogan directly.
Mr. Joe.
Mr. Rogan.
Oh, dude.
I don't know. We'd probably find someone that works for him or something. I mean, if we keep moving up in the world, like I said, the hierarchy shrinks and stuff like that. But I don't know. Someone's going to want to make the money.
Oh, for sure.
It's just that simple.
And there's plenty of money to be made, especially in Texas. We got, what, the 4th largest population? 3rd largest population in the country.
And as far as like a private gaming lounge, we just need a local space.
Well, it'd need to be private. People would have to be members.
Yeah,
because that's how you get around the smoking indoor law.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be a social club, and have that. Need a space with access to good Wi-Fi, or just hardline internet. We'd have to get the best internet, and then outfit it with video gaming equipment, and then a library of board games, and then the dispensary.
Yeah,
you know, and so it'd be easy enough, and then have a no tolerance policy for underage people coming in.
You just gotta hire good door guys.
Yeah.
Big scary security guards.
I guess so.
Check the ID.
Yeah, just give them a gun.
Yeah. You're like, give them a little earpiece.
Just no tolerance, man, because you can't have someone fucking up like, hey, we want you here when you're old, when you're of age.
And I don't want a lawsuit.
No one lawsuit.
You don't want a lawsuit.
Go do this shit in your home.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be here, you know?
Yeah.
Shit like that, man. It's not hard, but
I don't know. I feel like we drew up a blueprint one of these days.
It's as simple. So it's networking.
2 pool tables.
You know, 2 pool tables good. 1 is fine. A pool table. I mean, you might not even want it all that. Cause like if you want to control like noise pollution and stuff, you might you might need to separate it or not. I want to have private rooms for like private D&D games, or like people want quiet room.
There was this place I went up to in Washington. Man, I can't remember the place. I remember it had it was like a shield with like a high tower was the logo, but it was kind of like a mid-scale eatery.
Yeah.
And a board game shop. And so it was like a huge board game shop, and it kind of looked like an old school library, like something you'd see in like a Avatar or something like that, Harry
Mhm.
Potter. And it was just board games everywhere. And then you could rent the games there and then pay and then play them while you eat, like food and stuff.
See, like
And
I
then
like that, but I also don't like that.
the problem was the turnover rate.
I said the
So
problem
the
is
food was like really expensive.
people getting their greasy fucking fat hands
All
all
over
over my
my
fucking
cards.
cardboard. Come on, man.
I guess, man. It was good beers. It was good beers on tap, local.
We might have to do BYOB or like have a hire private bartender.
Yeah, I remember they had that hookah lounge was BYOB.
Of course, if we're smart, we're gonna have fucking munchies.
Oh,
You
for
got to.
sure.
That's the money right there
Mhm.
for the private lounge.
Boom.
Of course, if you're not gonna do like free snacks or whatever,
Right.
probably
Do
not.
Magic tournament every weekend or something like that. Once a month.
Maybe. I mean,
Magic.
be the 420 magic. It's not just any magic.
Yeah.
So it'd be like not everyone can get in.
Boom. And that keeps all the sweaty kids out, dude.
Yeah, I mean, or they can come in. Maybe we can change some lives. Like, are you old enough? Like, you don't have to do anything here. But man, bro, the secondhand smoke's gonna be righteous.
You're already opening the door, bro. We had scary security guards.
Hey, if they're of age and they pay to get in,
I don't know, man.
it'd be private club.
Yeah. They gotta be members, dog.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're right. Members only.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that'd be probably like, even if I wasn't, because I could build a whole life around doing that because I love games so much. And at that point, we'd have the podcast. If I had this shop, I'd try to have a place with a flat above it so I can just live there.
Right.
Or a flat like really nearby.
Yeah, dude.
That way I can just walk down there, have the studio, do a quiet room, and I just start reviewing board games, video games, interviewing people. Like, it'd just be more media stuff just to advertise.
Yeah, I just have an office in the back or something.
And then it's Stone Games. Like the game podcast that we want to do could just be done there, and we could just have a reason to get high and fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And play games till we got canceled for accidentally saying the N-word on screen.
Man. I remember, because the dudes in New Braunfels, they did it pretty good. I remember every time I went in there, the guy would just be, one of the owners would just be wrecking people on Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he'd pick random, and then if you started doing good against you, or against him, he'd pick your character and then beat you with your character. Yeah. And then if you were doing extra good, he'd pick his number one, which is Falco.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he'd just murder.
Falco's fast.
Yeah, dude. Just murder people. And that was a fun tournament. I remember I went there back in the day. This was when the Nintendo Wii just came out, and then it was Super Smash Brothers Brawl. And they had announced on the internet that they were having a Brawl tournament, and that the winner was going to get a Japanese version of Brawl 21 days before it was released in the United States. So people came from like out of state to come to this little shop for this tournament, and it was what was the price to get in? It wasn't a lot. It was like $20 to get in or something like that. So people drove all the way down here or flew down. And I remember I played against the number 2 in Texas. It was a woman. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Great gamer girl. Awesome, or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I just got rolled on, bro. Like, I think I did like 20% damage to her first life. It was 4 life. The rules were 4 lives and an 8-minute time limit. Mm-hmm. And I was playing my boy Marth, dude, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I was like, I'm going to fuck this bitch up. And then she fucking picked Peach. Fucking Peach, dude. She peached me out. It was nasty. And we were all playing Final Destination, so it's just flat.
Yeah.
No weapons, no items, nothing.
Oh, just vanilla.
Murked me, bro. I was like, I spent all this money. I was like, hell yeah, and I was poor. I was in high school. Shit, I didn't have a job. Yeah, that was terrible. I got humbled real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, dude. And then we could totally do that, bro.
We did. What? We also did. We got second place, third place?
Second place.
Second place. That was
Guitar
fun,
Hero.
too.
No, Rock Band.
Rock Band.
Yeah. Fat people on Vespas.
We won, what was that? That last one we won was Green Grass and High Tides Forever. That was a song, wasn't it?
I don't know, man. I know that we played. The reason that we one is because we picked Iron Maiden, and that knocked off a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then the one group, their hot song was that Coheed and Cambria song, "Welcome Home."
Oh yeah.
So and they had mastered that song, so we got rolled on there.
Yeah.
So other than that, though, it was fun. We just spent our credit and
That was fun.
dicked around. Yeah, it's just fun. So
anyway, back to the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, bro. No, it'd be great. 420 gaming lounge. Commission a few strains of weed, or find some weed that's really good. Low percentage sativa would be my go-to. If not, either low percentage sativa or sativa blend. I'd have to sample them and, roll with them.
Yeah.
But then I guess you'd figure it out, but eventually you get a tolerance, then you have to fuck with that, or
no, you just
take weekends off.
No, you just switch from I guess it either goes up or you change strains.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to reveal my business plan for this just yet.
No one's listening.
I don't give a fuck, dude. It's fucking trade secrets, dog.
Whatever, bro. It's already out there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was talking to my dad about this, and he was like, "You should be in the industry already. You shouldn't be here. You should be working in Colorado. You should be working in any of these states where it's legal and
experience,
figuring it out already." And I was like, man.
Yeah, it's truth, bro. That might be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but be another Texan and Colorado getting hated on.
Yeah, fuck that, bro.
Californians in Texas.
I don't know. I could probably just wave the Mexican flag and instead of having the Colorado flag, just have the Mexican flag outside my house, and people be like, "Oh, he's POC. Yeah, gotta support him."
People would just hate me. Be like, "Hey, bro, I'm just here to learn. I don't want to fucking drive on your fucking icy ass roads."
Oh, dude.
I
mean, Colorado's a beautiful state, man.
Yeah.
Filled with beautiful people. They were the most outdoorsy people.
Yeah, they were also the fittest people, the fittest state in the United States. So I don't know if it's still true anymore. I don't think it'd change.
All right. A lot of Olympians there.
Oh, yeah, the Olympic training center's there in Colorado Springs, I believe.
Yeah, and they've got a UFC center there, too.
Military base.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, cool vibes. Last time I was up there, real cool vibes. Real artsy people. I mean, where I was, there was a lot of people doing drugs, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just that happens when you go to those kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Nah, but we're here, dude. We're happening. We're I was talking to somebody earlier today. We're in Austin. Austin's the California gold rush. Or it's coming to the new world, like New York. It's
I guess.
everything's, we happen to be here when it's
Yeah, we just got Lex. He just moved down.
Yeah. The comedians are moving in, billionaires are moving in.
We're gonna get Michael down here too, man.
Yeah, dude.
Malice.
It's gonna be we're in the spot, man.
Yeah.
And then I hear Lockhart's getting really artsy. So the music scene's moving up to Lockhart. That's interesting. That's a small town. But they got good barbecue. And if that's where the live music's going, man, I miss that. Austin, it's getting packed where people are complaining about live music downtown and shit. And I'm like, that's dumb. That was our whole thing 10 years ago.
Pussies.
Yeah, dude. These fucking... There's a good... what's that dude's name? JP? He does a comedy show where he's a hippie guy.
Oh, you're talking about Awaken with JP.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking ginger dude with long hair.
Yeah, he has a good one with the Texans and Californians moving to Texas, and they're all hating on each other, and then some Oregon person shows up, some Oregonian, and then they just both
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's just happy to be alive.
Yeah, for sure.
Just gotta stop and be grateful. Be thankful.
I mean, the whole thing that people are afraid of in Texas is the politics. It's
yeah.
I mean, Austin's already lost cause.
Well,
it's close to being lost cause.
The transplants are afraid of caricatures of politics, man. Like they think that everyone down here is like in the Klan or some shit, dude. Like people have such crazy fucking images of what Texans are like.
Because they're fucking...
They're brainwashed.
They're brainwashed. They're programmed.
Yeah. Bridget Fedesi talks about this.
White supremacy, like... There was only like 2 white supremacists pre-2018, you know, and then the whole woke culture has revived white supremacy, and they are the white supremacists because they believe this shit. They believe in it. It's fucking stupid. Yeah. You know, I'm like, and I'll make the joke, I'm a Jewish supremacist or an Asian supremacist. God forbid a Chinese supremacist. Oh my God. You know, but it's just how it is. Fucking... It's stupid. It's not superior. If you got problems with it, the wealthy elite, that's different. And because they happen to be white, because they fucking moved here when the beginning of the United States was a fucking mostly white culture, or all white culture.
And there was less regulation, so you could just like start your business right away and hire everybody and not have to worry about like red tape or licenses or pollution or none of that shit. You just like build a fence. That's my property, you know?
Yeah, and then, you know, capitalism caused centralization, and the centralization got mixed in with the politics and the education. Moldbug might say this was always the case, which is probably true, but then it just gets tighter and tighter and more sophisticated.
And the monster gets bigger and bigger, and there's more agencies and more control and more fucking with your everyday life. You know,
but it has nothing or very, very little at all to do with race. It's all about money. Like it could have easily been, well, it wasn't. So this is just like, but you can do the thought experiment. This could easily have been like black people or people of color could easily have been. This could easily be reversed, and the problem is not the race. It's the economic inequality. Yeah. That's the thing. It's the money. It's the class structure. Yeah. The race is incidental. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Kanye and Oprah, all the fucking pro athletes, and no one's worried about the overrepresentation of black people in sports and entertainment. Yeah. And they shouldn't be. This is what makes America great. Yeah. Like, American culture would be fucking not as good without having the black culture that, you know, helped grow the whole music industry and everything about it, you know, like.
And that was culture. That was like blues and rock.
You know, even the Hispanic culture too. Like, you know, I mean, Taco Bell's all right.
Yeah, this motherfucker. Yeah, but yeah. You know? I always thought of America as a pioneer culture, like first into flight, first on the moon, light bulb. Yeah. Whatever. Like we are always cutting edge. You know, that's why people wanted to come here, and they wanted to come to our schools and like work with our entrepreneurs because we gave people a chance.
Opportunity, man.
We were talking about this on our last podcast, how like even the thing that we talk about, like making yourself and like having that personal utility to succeed in life and like overcome your obstacles. Like people in third world countries oftentimes think that it's like predeterminism. It's like, oh, well, I've got no opportunities. There's no opportunities here. I can't achieve I don't have the mobility that someone in a rich country like the United States is. And that's another thing about being grateful. Like,
well, that was the case for most of human history. Like if you were born a farmer, like or to a farmer parents, you were going to be a farmer. Yeah. And then luckily, thanks to like the technology and the development of culture, like I guess it was probably the apprenticeship system where like maybe you're like, oh, maybe you can go live apprentice with the blacksmith instead of doing farming or some other bullshit, you know. But we have, especially in the West, here, the most opportunity ever. But because our minds are poisoned with fucking fear porn media,
victim mentality,
and you know, this
peasant mentality,
terrible intellectualism.
What's the word? Because we should all be having, in the United States, we should have the abundance mentality. Like there's an abundance of opportunity, an abundance of wealth. And then instead we have the what's the opposite of abundance? Well, poverty.
Poverty is the worst thing. 'Cause scarcity is just truth.
Yeah.
But poverty is poison.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's like insane because we're the highest. We were talking about this earlier, bro. Like, got fucking sheets from Belgium, got a table from Vietnam. I got court jesters on Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah.
Like,
running water.
Toilet. Yeah, soap.
Hot water.
Yeah, a dental plan. Like, shit, bro. Like,
dental plan sounds nice.
Yeah, I need to go to the fuck dentist.
Yeah, fun fact. Well, actually, a smart fact is number one cause of, like, to cause someone to crash into poverty from the middle class is health incident. So take care of your health insurance. If you can afford it. If you're not there yet, probably want to work to get there.
Yeah.
That way, and you don't need, like, if you're smart and have like a couple grand in the bank or a few grand in the bank, just get a high deductible. That way your monthly costs are low.
Mm-hmm.
Get something catastrophic so that you don't end up, bankrupt and impoverished because, you get cancer or get into a car wreck or something.
Right.
Hopefully you don't get cancer because you're smart and not eating too bad. Because I say that and I fucking ate too many donuts this morning.
Well, that's another thing about...
Whatever, it's America, do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing about, like, the volunteerism. Like, a lot of underprivileged people in the U.S. eat trash food.
Yeah.
Overweight. You got overweight homeless people, eating fucking McDonald's Big Macs and double cheeseburgers for $2 or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, it's not super, like, you can eat. I think the big problem is fucking soda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and snacking.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, there's probably more to it than that, but just the constant intake of sugar and insulin keeps you in a constant state of fat accumulation.
Yeah, and that
and it
the
fucks
oil,
up your endocrine system.
The oil we use too, and like fast foods, a lot of soy and fucking vegetable oil, canola oil.
So then you get like massive inflammation, and if that fucks with your like testosterone and your hormones, that can cause you to gain weight or increase your cortisol, which is associated with fat gain.
Yeah,
and
if
you're not sleeping, like, there's a whole
take away your motivation.
A whole cascade of negative health effects from not keeping your diet balanced. I mean, really, no one should be eating any of this stuff if they cared about their health, but it is what it is.
Right.
So you can mitigate some of that.
America, choice, dude.
Yeah, it's voluntary. Like, if you want to eat like shit and die at 50, go ahead.
Right.
At
if
least
you're
my
my
friend,
your meals.
I might say something maybe, but like, it is what it is. Like, you already know.
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing. It's like you're dealing with an addiction. God forbid, not fat. Well, I guess I am fat shaming, so you shouldn't be like,
bro. I mean,
it's not good.
Okay, I'll say fat shame. We need to bring that shit back, dude. I'm all on board with that shit.
I'll say one thing. Let me say one thing real quick.
Go ahead.
There's a difference between, this is about plus size models and the word curvy.
Okay.
Like, plus size models, right? I'm all for it. But there's a difference between Ashley Graham and Tess Holliday.
I don't know who either of those people are.
One is what I would call a curvaceous, beautiful Latina woman, and the other one is a precancerous whale.
Oh man. Okay, well there you go. Yeah.
You've seen them. They're very popular in the plus size space.
Like in Vogue and stuff, and they're like, this is healthy, and it's like a fucking 300-pound
No, it's not.
person. No, yeah. It's terrible. Like Marilyn Monroe was like voluptuous, right?
I don't fucking know, bro. She's dead.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's be healthy. You want to be attractive as a woman. Mm-hmm. Like the waist, the hips to waist ratio is 0.7. Maintain that.
0.7?
0.7. So like 70% of your hips to your waist.
Oh, okay.
So like that's the ideal.
Oh yeah, no.
Hourglass curve.
That sounds sexy.
Across all cultures and through time. So if you can maintain that, whether you're a thick 0.7 or a slender 0.7, do your best. But then just like there's some dude out there that's gonna find you attractive because dudes are just horny like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're muscly, if you're fat, if you're skinny. Quit coveting other people's bodies and just rock what you got.
Yeah.
Work your hand. Play your role.
Right.
shit like that, man.
But if like you're 300 pounds and it's hard to walk and your knees hurt and you got hip pain and your joints hurt and you find it hard to get in and out of bed and in and out of cars, and that's not healthy at any size.
Oh, no, definitely not. And if you're 300 pounds, you can't say you care about your health with COVID and masks.
Oh, dude.
You know, that's just, no, you are.
You're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So, and this is, I fucking hate this COVID situation, man.
What's that?
Because obviously COVID is a real disease.
Yes.
You know, but I don't know what to trust. Since it's been so politicized.
Right.
I don't know, like I was on board with the whole hydroxychloroquine. Like there sounds like there's multiple different treatments and preventative measures to be taken to prevent COVID-19. The death rate seems to be super low, but you can't get a straight answer out of anyone from the media because it's been so politicized. Yeah. And like I don't want to fucking trust Fauci.
Just look at the CDC, man. The CDC will give you raw data on like the age groups. They'll give you.
Well, the CDC is politicized too.
I suppose.
And the fact that like,
dude, the data I was looking at. Go ahead.
Dissenting doctors and stuff on YouTube and Facebook, like YouTube and Facebook get to decide who's got the right science.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Like, it's not cool at all. And all I want is to like figure out how to be healthy. But this thing's been politicized for like social control and fucking tribalism.
Yeah. Well, regulation might be coming to Facebook and Google and Twitter and all that shit because Clarence Thomas just made a ruling about that.
So the government can now have direct control over these fucking, you know, entities as opposed to just, you know, let them work informally.
It'd be better that, well, I mean, would you rather be ruled by the oligarch or ruled by the government?
It sounds like
the same.
Would you rather be ruled by the oligarchy or by the oligarchy?
Yeah.
This is the whole point of like Moldbug and formalism. It's just like there's no formalism. Just takes away. It says power is inevitable. Right. Don't make it hidden. Make it explicit.
Right.
And, you know, then it's easy to be like, know who to blame.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at COVID-19 statistics, this stuff was, the last time I looked at it was published in February. It was 93% of fatalities are over the age of 55. Right. And then 87% of fatalities had comorbidities. Yeah. So of the 93% of fatalities, only 13% of them out of the 100% of fatalities, only 13% of them was a death by COVID-19.
Pure COVID.
Yeah. And then people are also suggesting that a lot of the people that died last year would have died within the next like 2 to 3 to 5 years. Yeah, just because they're failing health. Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
And then if you look at the last decade, we actually had more deaths like in 2011 and 2012. So like there's always a fluctuation. There's like a median amount of deaths. And so there was a increase of, there was 200,000 more deaths in 2020 than there were in 2019. But that's like not outside the norm.
With an aging population, with like, I think we have like most people are going to be old. Like the death rate should probably increase.
Yeah, and the boomers are all like the beginning of the boomers are all dying, and the end of the boomers are all retiring. So like that whole age group's like coming to an end as well.
It really sucks, dude. My mom just lost like 5 friends.
That's terrible.
In like the last year.
Yeah, and then another thing. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's whatever, bro. I mean, it's not my friends.
Back to the COVID death. Less people died of COVID-19 last year than died of heart failure. So it's like when you think about how many people have heart attacks or how many people are dying of old age or obesity, like, I don't know that many people that are dying of that. So I know even less people that are dying of COVID. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you look at as well, just the birth rate, like I think Texas and Florida alone have been producing like 200 plus, 300 plus thousand new offspring every year. So there's people that all died last year. Is it a tragedy? Sure. You know, like one person, or no, what's the quote is, one death is a tragedy, 1 million deaths is a statistic, right?
I guess.
But like all these people have already been replaced. They were replaced 20 fucking years ago. Right. You know, just by reproduction. So, I mean, it happens, but thank God it wasn't the the bubonic plague or Ebola or something like that killed off a third of the world, you know. And then it's also just like an opportunity for all these like super leaning countries to just tighten the fucking grip on that totalitarian. I'm seeing it mostly in the UK and Canada. And then, dude, like, I'm so glad we have free speech over here. I was watching a video yesterday on Twitter of you know how, like, have you ever been in town or in like another city and there's like a preacher man with like a megaphone, like quoting the Bible?
We had him on campus.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I was watching a video of that happening in the UK on a town square, and so it was like an old man reading from the Bible, and some people called the police saying that they were offended, and then the cop showed up and said he needs to pack up his stuff, and he was like, "No, I'm just reading the Bible. I'm just reading my Bible," and they're like, "You're under arrest."
The cops should have just said, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
You know, and call this phone line's only for emergencies.
No, but like they made that the same thing when Count Dankula got arrested for memes. It's like you can't offend people now because it's a hate speech. So the Bible's hate speech. And then Titania McGrath made a really funny tweet where she's just like, now that we've officially declared that the Bible is hate speech, we need to go and shut down all the churches and turn them into like woke indoctrinating schools or some shit.
Yeah. No, it's the war's already been lost, my friends. Man. You know, especially if you start looking into the neo-reactionary stuff. It's just the protests and the riots are not an expression of rising up against the government. It's an expression of
the power that is. Yeah.
So, yep. So just do what you gotta do to live your best life.
Yeah, man.
Live like the expatriate.
Yeah, man. More localization, more, I guess, bonding and networking.
Yeah,
close.
Intentional networking, community building,
and like understanding again that
and guns.
Well, yeah.
That might not be enough. This probably won't be enough.
No, yeah. That there was another post because there's still a coup going on in Myanmar. Yeah. In Burma, and the military force opened fire on protesters over there. Mm-hmm. Just like yesterday or the day before.
Oh, damn.
And they're an unarmed populace. All right, so. Yeah, man. Liberty.
I didn't hear about that, bro. CNN's falling down the job.
Yeah, Elijah Schaefer posted it.
Okay.
But yeah, what is it? Man, what the fuck were we talking about? Close.
Talking about the expression of power. Oh, yeah, how to... Even though the political game is lost, but then again, it's politics. So,
and then understand, like, unless you're billionaire, like, you don't have a lot of influence on the stage, right? It's like Marcus Aurelius stoicism, like, worry about things that are in your control. Yeah. And not a lot of things are in your control, but there are plenty of things that are in your control that can help you and your family and your loved ones, the people you care about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hell yeah. Don't depend on the enemy not coming. Depend rather on being ready for him.
Sure.
Sun Tzu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, The Art of War was a good book. I think I thought about if you could play like Total War.
Okay.
And like play Total War, but like have the Art of War, like examine the principles of the Art of War, playing the game.
People do that.
They do?
In StarCraft.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Is it explicitly broken down?
Oh, no. Oh, you mean you want to do like a...
It's more of an examination of the Art of War through the game as opposed to just playing the game good and expressing the Art of War.
Okay.
Subconscious knowledge. It'd be like, all right, we're studying this, like, we're looking at this law of war 10 times, surround, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do that in this game. Let's look at what we got here.
No, that does sound like an interesting concept.
So it'd just be something fun to do.
Of like, when I was thinking of, when you said that, was like in certain matches where people, they start attacking from everywhere because you can't defend everywhere at once. Mm-hmm. Or you're like rallying your forces, you're creating that big ball of death. Or you're feinting. So you'll have like a small force, and you'll like be skirting vision with your opponent, while your like larger force is like moving around the edge of the map, or you're getting your teleporting, whatever the fuck they're called, the Protoss things, teleport.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of that.
There's a lot of that. The multi-pronged attack, the 1-2. The basic is the 1-2 punch, but like Terrans are like notorious for like dropping on their opponents.
Yeah.
So and then coming in the front gates or something. It's
That's
like look over here, and then you get sucker punched on the other side.
Yeah. I was watching a Civil War documentary, the ultimate Civil War documentary on Amazon. Trying to study for the Civil War podcast we're gonna do eventually.
Oh shit.
To our patrons.
Our patron.
Yeah. But they expressed that too. Stonewall Jackson, Robert Lee had told him to like maneuver in this area, and he was really good at like making the opponent think that his force was a lot larger because of like how fast he was moving. And his infantry were called the foot cavalry because of how fast they marched. So he had created such a like compelling like his morale was so high in his armed force that they would like march longer and farther and faster. And so he was like, he would just show up, and it was creating like, it was making the Union generals like disturbed because they didn't know where he was coming from. So that's what kept him around the capital for a long time. And then ultimately another art of war rule was that the further you're out on campaign, the harder it is to maintain supply lines. So towards the end of the war, after the turning point, the Union had decided that they were going to start taking from the land. So like up until, I want to say 3 or 4 years in, they were leaving like civilian houses alone and all this stuff. But then the Union was like, no, this is just prolonging the war. So I think it was Grant, Abraham Lincoln, and Sherman decided it was time to start torching the fields. And so like every time they were marching through the South, they would take all the horses, take all the mules, take all the chickens, burn all the fields, take all the wine and stuff. And so that's how they were maintaining their forces instead of having like long supply lines. And as well, they were like making it to where the
demoralizes the enemy.
It demoralizes the Confederacy, and then also makes it to where they can't replenish as well. And that's when you get I think it's the Sherman March all the way to the coast, and he burns down Atlanta.
Yeah, and they fucking bend railroads and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's brutal.
War is hell.
And that's why I don't want it. It's fucking, and it only benefits those fucking people at the top.
Yeah.
And people don't fucking, well, some people see it, but it's just, they're fatalistic about it. I mean, it is, what can you do? Like, you can just talk about it and eventually get canceled or, put in the gulag. So, it fucking sucks, bro. It's like, why we gotta, because all it's doing is fucking feeding money back to them, to the industrial war machine, and destroying, well, I mean, it's also, they can then, set up, our colonial economic system and our victims area. Or we also get the Saudi oil and all that shit too. It's just fucking, it's dirty.
Yeah, I think that's probably like one of the biggest things that why they would probably never let Texas actually leave the Union is that we produce 25% of the country's oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And up until this year, we were the largest oil producing country in the world. So, I don't know, man.
I don't know either, bro. Like, I mean, fuck it. It doesn't
Doesn't
fucking
matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Speculation, bro.
Just fucking get a job, develop your skill set, make some good friends, have good people to rely on, live a good life. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have been Aaron James, Anarcho Sorcerer. G from Drag the Waters. Sitting here with the best bro.
Yeah, man. This is Lurker Mario. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends if you like the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate you guys. You can have direct access to AJ and myself at dragthewaters.locals.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on Twitter at Mario_DTW, or reach out to us in the comments section.
Yeah, just give us a comment down below. Cost you nothing.
Yeah, let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Cheers.